Hi, everybody. We're back. It's been a long hiatus for that little thing we like to call Citcon. Welcome to Star Citizen Live. What did I call this show? Citcon 2953, follow-up part 1, the UI and resource management people. We're probably going to have to shorten that for the thumbnail. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and if you've never seen Star Citizen Live before, it's where we take about an hour out of the end of our week and we chat with the wonderful developers who make our two games, Star Citizen and Squadron 42, possible. We've been offline for the last roughly 6 or 7 weeks. I don't know. Nobody ever looked at Jared and said that guy knows how to read a calendar. To prepare for our big 2-day event, Citizencon, out in Los Angeles. You just saw our you might have seen our behind the... Ooh, I got a text message. Hold on. Domino's is offering 25% off garlic sticks. Where was I?
Just gonna have a little chat. Just have a look. Is everything fine here? No. Just gonna have a little chat. Just have a look. Is everything fine here? Just gonna have a little chat. Just have a look. Is everything fine here?
Hi, everybody. We're back. It's been a long hiatus for...
Hello, Star Citizen followers and rusty pigeons. Today I am going to watch the Star Citizen Live Ask the Devs, the UI team. They are back after a hiatus, after a little break, of course, after Citcon. And now we have some episodes to watch, I think.
That little thing we like to call Citizencon. Welcome to Star Citizen Live. What did I call this show? Citizencon 2953, follow-up part 1, the UI and resource management people. We're probably going to have to shorten that for the thumbnail. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and if you've never seen Star Citizen Live before, it's where we take about an hour out of the end of our week and we chat with the wonderful developers who make our two games, Star Citizen and Squadron 42, possible. We've been offline for the last roughly 6 or 7 weeks.
Tom.
I don't know. Nobody ever looked at Jared and said that guy knows how to read a
calendar.
calendar.
No game stream for this
evening
for my...
But
just have a look at the live. And okay. Jared also got a text message, so we can have a little talk. No live stream of gaming today. I have some issues at the back end of the computer, so I will fix this and come back to you, of course. But for now, I wanted to listen to the Star Citizen Live and just sometimes pause it to rethink some sort of things that were said, and just get a good view of where they at the UI team. So I'm curious what this episode is going to be about.
Domino's is offering 25% off garlic sticks. Where was I? I don't remember where I was, but it's muted now. We're back, everybody. Our 2-day event in Los Angeles. You might have seen yesterday's behind-the-scenes episode of Inside Star Citizen, giving a look at some of the things that went into putting that together, at least in the last days leading up to it. On this show today, and for the next several weeks, actually, we are going to be doing a series of presentation follow-ups with members of the teams who gave their presentations at Citcon. Up first this week is members from our esteemed user interface team, UI team. Do you guys have a team? Is it like the Rad Cobras or something? Do you guys have a team name? Anyway, Zane, Emily, Bone, and Simon. How you doing, everybody?
Bone.
Hello.
Bone.
So answer that first question.
Yes, it's Bone.
Or do you guys have like cool...
We're actually 3 different teams.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, walk me through that.
So Zane and I are on the UI tech team.
Okay.
So I'm on the Squadron 42 UI art and design team for now.
And Emily?
The Squadron 42 feature team.
Okay. Simon, for now, you hang dangling over.
I think things are very fluid all the time. So,
Yes.
who knows?
Boy, howdy, are they?
Okay, so there are 3 UI teams. Nice, nice. I hope they have a lot of staff coming over from Squadron 42 to help out with the UI so that we can get it faster in the persistent universe. Let's go back.
Yeah, no, folks have. I think folks have seen through the messaging of Citcon and through some stuff they may have seen through the monthly report and everything. Yes, we are rearranging some development resources at the moment, moving a lot of folks back over onto the persistent universe. Now that Squadron 42 is feature complete. So yeah, so we're excited. That was a big part of the Citcon messaging, was looking at all of these things that have been done or created for Squadron 42 and are now about to begin making their journey to the persistent universe over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, depending on what it is and how well things go. You four constituted our Navigating the Universe presentation at Citcon. We've collected some questions from the community, and we're going to jump into those for a few minutes. But because this is really the first time we've had to chat since we got back, how was your experience? Did you enjoy Citcon this year? Did you run into any crazy stalkers?
I'm curious. I think only Bone has did some CitizenCon in the past, but for now, I'm curious. But it was a good thing. Jared mentioned it that people are coming over from the Squadron 42 campaign feature teams into the persistent universe.
Tell me what it was like from your perspective, because I was just running around like a chicken with their head cut off the whole time.
I thought it was really cool because it's the first CitizenCon I've actually been to in real life. So presentation we did was a bit scary, but after that, getting to meet the backers and just see the show and everything, it was really nice because when you sat at your computer all the time just making new stuff and thinking, oh, it's full of bugs, or we've got to fix, or we've got to get it done on time, you don't really see people that appreciate the end result. So that was really cool.
Anyone else?
Yeah, superb. I loved it. It's super exciting. And it's weirdly, I get to see loads of bits. It's like a really extravagant show and tell for us as well. You get to see bits of the game that from other teams that I've not seen. So I'd not seen the Hold the Line video. I deliberately held it back. And then when I watched it, I was quite emotional, sat at the back of the auditorium. It was really, really exciting. So weirdly, I enjoyed it as a participant as much as being involved in the actual shows.
Good said, Bone. Good said. I think the same. There are a lot of people working at CIG that don't see enough of each other's work, and when it's on this event, seeing things for the first time happening, it's really a thing. Really good. Really glad I watched it. I watched it with Level Cap and with Salty Mike for some salty but also balanced comments from Level Cap. So yeah.
As well. I think it was really cool just to be able to show off what we've been working on, and I'm pretty proud of that, and I was just really excited to show that map feature. Mm-hmm. I've actually lost quite a bit of sleep on the lead up to CitizenCon, so I actually wasn't really feeling too well at the actual event, but I was pretty. I think adrenaline was taking care of that anyway.
Yeah, adrenaline tends to carry us through. I think there's a number of people who went crashing down right afterwards, me included. Emily, what was your CitizenCon like besides bossing Boner around?
Yeah, I enjoyed doing that. Yeah, it was really cool. I've never really done anything of that sort of scale before, and it was just really nice to finally show off the star map after I've been working on it for quite some time. So it's
the star map, the interior map, the Moby glass. I mean, we've talked about this on and off over the years. I've been doing this for about a decade now. User interface is one of the only aspects of game development that touch every single other element. There's nothing that goes into either one of these games that doesn't have to go through you in some way, shape, or form, that you don't present some aspect of it, make some aspect of it usable, tangible, and stuff like this. So it can, as Zane said, it can lead to some long nights and some long hours and whatnot. But
Hey,
it
Tom.
was super exciting to me to finally be able to pull the curtain back, because
Yeah, let me pause the video for a bit here. What do you think what do you think will be at EIA? Yeah, we saw a lot of new ships coming out. I think also some surprises. There are some new possible concept ships for concepts there. They were announced like last year. So really curious, but also a lot of good sales. I think a lot of war bonds upgrades, maybe that you can do if you like, if you want to pledge the game, of course, because you don't need to pledge. You only need a starting game package and a starter ship, and you are off in Star Citizen. Easy as that.
we've been waiting to see so much of this stuff. And so as we jump into the questions, one of the first questions was, we don't usually do a one question, but I saw that you had these on there. Does all of this stuff have to wait till 4.0, or will some of the stuff that you showcased come in before the Magic and Fabled 4.0?
Well, the easiest answer to that question is just wait and see. But no, we're
No
hoping to
bone.
do things in a bit at a time, so it won't be like a big lump of like, here's all the new features. So like, when they're ready, they're going in, and they're going to be as ready as soon as possible. So we're all doing our best to get them actually from like being showcaseable to being production ready, so release status, so, which is still quite a jump, but we're doing our best.
Well, I imagine most of it is just as simple as take the step you did for Squadron, check the make multiplayer box, and just work in Star Citizen, right?
No. In a word.
Okay, so they are doing when questions. That's not a good thing in the Star Citizen universe. When questions are most of the time not answered, because in the history of Star Citizen, when they were answered, they always struggle to keep up on them. So I think it was a good answer from Bone. Just we are busy with it now at the moment. When they are ready, they will be coming in the live build, of course, or in the test build, and then afterwards in the live build. But you will see, and they hope it's soon. So I don't know. I have a good feeling after this Citcon that they can keep up with their promising also, but they also mention a lot that they are not going to give dates because they want a good product. This is a project that isn't done before by any studio, game studio. So I really enjoyed it, watching it. Also the game development side, but also this. I don't mind waiting for this special game. I think it will be an experience when it's all finished, and when it's keep on updating through the years after that. I think not even years. I think in decennia. So this is really something.
Where do you start?
I got a snort from Torsten in my ear.
I mean, just integrating the codes, a multi-day, multi-week problem, and then there's additional features for, let's say, the visor and the Moby glass, which are obviously maybe not in Squadron, that are going to be in the PU, and then there's obviously different maps and different layouts, and also people can go anywhere and do anything, and like the combinations of stuff that people can do when they're playing the game all need to be tested.
Yeah, that's right, Tom.
Skydancer in the chat said that stuff looked pretty far along, and it is. It's as far along as we showed it at Citcon. But again, that was for the single player environment, and integrating it into the multiplayer environment will take the work of not just your team, but.
Okay, let me zoom in on that. Jared here mentioned single player and multiplayer. I think that making a game for a single player experience is much easier than making it for an MMO, for a massive multiplayer online version of the game. So they are doing both at the same time. Um, but it's very I when I think of it, it's like doing a single player game. You can polish, you can tweak. Also at the back end of your systems, you don't need every system to be in place to deliver the best experience. And that versus the multiplayer side of the game, the Star Citizen MMO game, it will be more the system needs to be working correct. Otherwise, your economy doesn't work. Your ships will fail. Your mission will fail. The game will crash. The server ends. The client connection. That sort of stuff. It all needs to be in tip-top shape. It all needs to be working flawless. Also, the recovery system after the game crashes, that you don't lose any progression that you made, that sort of stuff. So it's really something. So they are done now with the Squadron 42, but now it's time to move up to step on and make the MMO version of the game solid. That's the main thing I'm curious about. Also for the Squadron 42 campaign, of course, I really liked it. I played a lot of Freelancer back in the days. And I liked that game. It was also the game from Chris Roberts, so that was also for me a reason to become a backer in 2013, like 10 years ago. But still enjoyed it every time, and even now things will come out at the game, and they will be patched in features, and it's more and more becoming this freelancer variant and more. So really curious.
Multiple QA teams and multiple other Precision Universe teams, who, you got to hook it into the mission system, you got to hook it into the, the overall location system and stuff like this. So yeah, server meshing and the replication layer, all things that aren't necessarily a part of the squadron development that you now need to take accounted for. That's not to scare anybody away and be like, you're not going to see this stuff in a year and whatnot, because I can already see the chat. It's just we want to be very forthcoming that this isn't stuff that's going to show up tomorrow, but it's not necessarily stuff that needs to wait until 4.0. You guys will tackle the work, and as the work is completed and ready and go, it'll go into the PU.
Yeah, we're not holding all of that.
Yeah, Freelancer was very old, of course. Yeah, it was a very good game for the time.
Success team leads are like planning that right now. I was talking to Jens earlier about, can we do this here and can that go there? So yeah, we're on the case as well. We're figuring out how soon we can get stuff.
And some of the things are out of this group's control as well. So like the interior map, you think, well, we showed the Carrack, but we've got a few other ships that we'll need to ensure look great.
Speaking of the Carrack, let's jump into some of these questions we posted from the community.
The Carrack, let's go.
This question says, what is the role of the cartography station holosphere in the 600i or Carrack?
Yeah, that will be a good one, I think. The cartography sphere in the Carrack. I recently posted a review of the Carrack and also the cartography. So I mentioned there that it was probably used for mapping jump holes and scanning jump holes to plot the course and go through them, and also save the data so you can sell it to other companies so that other people in the universe can use this system. So I'm very curious where this is going at.
What's the role of it if you can do everything from your mobiGlas? Will it sync with your mobiGlas? Does it do something different than the mobiGlas? What can you tell us?
So I think the main thing is like as we mentioned in the Hold the Line view, we're trying to really emphasize the physical interactions with the world, and that makes the experience a lot more immersive and engaging. Because obviously, if you can do everything from the mobiGlas, right? Like how compelling is that? Like it's obviously it's not far-fetched to imagine in the future we'll might be able to control everything with AI and brain chips and stuff, but doesn't really make for a compelling gameplay. So
yeah, I don't know.
And also
I think we need to keep in mind that the future will also bring distant star systems that we don't have like internet like we do on the world right now. So we don't have everywhere Wi-Fi and internet, of course, because if you want that, you need to get satellites in place around a planet, for example. But how do you do it in deep space? It's not there. So the thing of data traveling or data transport or data cargoing will be a real thing. If you want to get data from one system to another, maybe there is like this system in place that can transport these data over comm lines or that sort of stuff. But in most cases, it needs to be downloaded on a device, bring it to the other system, and upload it there to use it, I think, and vice versa. So if you are collecting some digital currency in one system and you need it to transport it to the other system, it will be in the form of data. So really curious, yeah. So I think it's not all from your Moby Glass. That's the thing we are used to right now, but it's not. I don't know. It's not. No, it will not be all of the future.
So with the like, I think like the hologlobes, like the big thing about it is like there should be like certain benefits to using something that's like specially geared towards the ship they're using. Like for instance, like networking. Like if you have like a lot of crew members that you're working with, like
Yeah,
I think it would
Moby
be like
Glass
really
needs
nice
to
to be
rework
able to like
for sure.
amalgamate the data so that
Yeah.
like what you're showing on like one display, like one hologlobe.
Everybody's standing around the
Yeah,
hologram.
so it's like amalgamating their like individual data into like one sort of display, and then they can.
Yeah, I think we saw at Citcon, we saw the piece of uploading data on your Moby Glass from maps, that sort of stuff, from facilities you don't ever been through or been to. You need to upload it at the site to get this done.
Make like strategic planning and stuff around that, and then like the same goes for like the cartography deck or anything. Like I feel like also what I kind of want to do as something like really cool is to have like a Prometheus style terrain, like a cross section of terrain
Prometheus.
on a hologlobe.
Okay,
so that, like, when
from
you're, like,
it's a
like,
little
you're
bit from
scanning for, like,
Alien.
resource deposits and things like that. Like
I
it's
get
something that the ship,
Reclaimers,
specifically does,
Reclaimer
and then, obviously,
feelings
I
from
think
it.
that information would then be able to like be saved to your Moby Glass, because I think your Moby Glass really is kind of like about displaying the data that you've acquired over time through the use of various equipment, and then like the other displays are kind of like about.
Yeah, everybody's data is different. So if you are traveling in a galaxy far away from Stanton, you collect lots of different information, but it's only on your save file. So if you die with it or it gets destroyed, the information is gone. But if you can collect it and save it and maybe sell it also or put it into this digital library, then the things of cartography will become a real thing. You can connect the dots from system to system with all this information from different people, but don't forget it's not a common thing that it's getting uploaded automatically. No, you have to be in contact with this person to get this information, or maybe buy it from them, or maybe stealing from them in a bad universe. But it's really something.
Actually gathering that data.
This next question just says Galaxy View. I guess will we add the?
Yes.
Oh, so yes, well, literally just says Galaxy View here. So,
somebody was asking like, so we can see the solar system, we can see the interior map. What about like
pulling all the way out to the multi-star system? Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So the plan is we definitely
the
want
big
to be able
galaxy.
To pull back even further. So if people have seen the star map on the website, we're thinking of something similar to that. So you can see all the different systems that will be in the game eventually. Probably we can only.
Yeah, you can see the star systems that are worked on at the Robert Space Industries website. it's a big star map, and it has this 3D effect on it as well. But you can see all the systems relate to each other. What's the neighboring system of the Stanton system, for example? It's Pyro, but it's maybe Terra, or not. Maybe it's not like how do you say? Maybe it's not like a direct neighbor, but it's more like there is a jump point from this system, from Stanton to Terra, and maybe there is in between another system, but it cannot be reached without a proper jump hole. And it may be that you need first travel from Stanton to Terra, and then from Terra back to this system X to get in. So
Like actually go to the two that we're working on at the moment, but we do want to have that big high level view, so you can see it all in context.
I also like the idea of being able to like actually go through the jump points as well. So if we could do that, that would be really cool.
Oh, like in the map, actually just...
Yeah.
oh, that's a nice idea.
Awesome.
Here's a perennial...
Yes. I pause it here because I'm really glad that there is a woman in one of the chairs for now, because they have women's working at CIG, but I think a good balance of men and women working in a company, especially in a development company, they have different think patterns also, but also different styles of getting things done, but also how they are thinking about systems or how to use systems. It's always good to have men and women, like feminine energy and masculine energy together, but we need more women at CIG also in these chairs to promote it and to get a good balance out. It's like in the real world.
Question. Jesus, I think we've seen this question since 2015, so the birth of the PU. Can we organize map markers and pins using folders or tags?
I think you should be able to. I think we should offer like various ways of actually sorting through that data. So I think like one of the ways is, I think that would be good is to be able to have like user-generated folders, so that you can organize your own data and how you see fit, but also be able to organize it by like hierarchical locations. So like, Stanton system, and then, planet, moon, and be able to kind of like filter your markers that way.
Yeah.
And possibly also like tagging the markers, so you can kind of like tag them.
Yeah, prioritize them. That's what I talked about. It's your own data collection, and you need to
the sharing of it, 'cause you might
do
wanna
good
only share
sorting
a
of it.
subset, right? So you need to have like good ways of filtering by like subsets of.
And then being...
Okay, sorry, I'm keep on chatting through the video, but I know we can understand what they're saying right then. So, but I'm really enthusiastic about this. It really gets the Mercury star running and the Herald into place like data runners, and they also, they need a good position, I think, in the universe, but also. Managing data will be a real thing, because data is knowledge, and knowledge is power, and knowledge is money, and that sort of thing. So if you are a player that has a lot of knowledge, and you can take people with you, it will be a real thing.
Being able to add notes to the map markers, titles, stuff like that, full labeling things.
Yeah, I mean, we already showed like the titling. I think we should be able to. Have that flexibility, because otherwise we're kind of like, you're kind of like, you don't want to be like stuck in a box, and it's just like, so yeah, we'll look at that for sure.
We're going to start drilling down into it. One thing that one suggestion that we probably will look into, and not saying we're definitely going to do it, but we can potentially get data from the surroundings as well. So if you've got a mining deposit, we could potentially kind of automatically say what's in that deposit on your little marker. So things like that, we've got potential to do.
Good.
You just went right into the next question. Will the star map show details about planets?
Yeah, data will be
Population,
epic,
climate,
and
resources, factors,
much
stuff like
of
that.
it will be
How-
used for
how far do
power,
we
I think.
take the star map before it just becomes a galactopedia?
It could go anywhere, really. I mean, like, where it is now, where we're looking at it for now, it's probably going to be pretty similar to the function. Well, the core functionality will be kind of similar to what's in the current Star Citizen, just with this much better interface. But in future, like you've seen Google Maps, that's changed over the past 10 or 15 years, and it's constantly changing. We could do the same kind of thing with a star map if we wanted to, but I think...
I mean, our priority is to make it nice and playable first,
Yeah.
like really useful.
Yes, Bone, make it playable, please. Bone, make it playable.
We understand that maybe the current implementation is not so usable, so you know, there's a priority of making that usable, and then we can look at all these additional features. We've got a feature list as long as your arm that all look like, oh, that looks cool. We could definitely do that. Yeah. We should put that in it.
I really like this setting also because we laugh about the jokes from Bone and from Citcon, but the team and what they are representing are a lot of clever people that are really entitled to think about future systems and also this Galactopedia. So if you are clicking on a thing on the star map, for example, in the future, you will get all sorts of information. And if you want to dive deeper into the lore or other things, you probably can hit like a bookmark or something, or just a button, and you dive right into it to get a real knowledge of it. So it's not just coding a game with gameplay, but it's more. It's so much more. Also, the lore, it has been in development for over more than 10 years for now, and of course, if you are coding a game, you need to upgrade it because you need better graphics, that sort of stuff. But keep in mind that making lore doesn't change very much. So the people that are on the lore team and writing all these lore things for this big universe, or maybe multiple, like hundreds of star systems and alien races, that sort of stuff, it is already in the working for more than 10 years, I think.
But I think knowing things, showing things that you know about on the map is sort of like really important. Like when you learn things about
it's a good thing.
Or a location,
taking a drink, sip.
This could be integrated into your map. So like pinning stuff, or like finding out about, I don't know, it's an icy moon with this kind of population, and whether it's safe or not, is a lot of that's sort of based on your knowledge about what you've learned about the universe whilst you're exploring around it.
Well, there's that, and then there's, you know, things like the Galactopedia, which, you know, it exists, you know, outside the game right now, but you know, eventually we'll begin to incorporate into the universe.
Bone.
And I imagine there's a lot of opportunities to plug into that and pull information from that. You know, just easy cross-reference through tags. You know, if I'm looking at, you know, Microtech, you know, oh well, what other information? There's the information that I've gathered, or you've gathered, or members of our team have gathered, but then what does the universe already know? And pull that in.
What's the governing bodies of the, you know, find me a safe place to go and land and refuel and things like that.
So I would say it probably seems more like a Galactopedia feature as a star map feature, and then just maybe the star map can tap into that in places once the Galactopedia comes online. Will the map show multi-stop quantum travel routes?
Ooh.
So for now, it'll probably do very similar to the current implementation. So you can kind of plot multiple stops on the way, but for now we don't want to do like a full, I don't know, you know, like if you want on a sat nav on your phone, we don't want to go into that much detail where it's kind of doing everything for you. You can choose multiple routes.
No, it's a good thing also for the immersion, if you can put your ship on autopilot within a star system itself, I think it's a good idea, because you can travel from point to point to point, and if you get an encounter in between, that's what you got to deal with, of course. So if you are not at the cockpit of your ship but doing other things, and you get surprised, a surprise attack or engaged, so that sort of stuff, of maybe scanned, or it's your own fault, of course. But I think traveling through jump holes and linked it all together, so you can like get your autopilot on for like 2 hours and just cross like 6 or 7 star systems, I don't think that's immersion. I don't think that's a good idea. Just jumping from jump hole or jump gate to jump gate within systems, it will be a good thing, because in between, in these large systems, also Stanton is pretty small, but Pyro is like 2, 3, maybe 4 times as big already. So you really need to check your fuel, your quantum fuel, that sort of stuff, your supplies. You need to be prepping all the way. You need to have this engagement. Sorry.
But I think in future, those kind of features do make people's lives more easier. So yeah, I think it's the kind of thing we probably look into.
I don't want to
later
be flying
on
through some really dangerous zone. I won't be able to avoid it. But sounds a good idea.
Yeah, I think there's big things like, I don't know, you want to be able to know where you need to stop for fuel and how far you can actually reach with your current ship and that kind of thing. We can probably improve the way that's dealt with in future as well.
And of course, like in our own world, we have this feature now. Of course, like traveling by foot, you need to have more stops. You are getting your pace is much slower. You are gonna travel by car. Then you need to also have these refuel points. Of course, you can look at your gauge and have thinking, oh, I can like 100 kilometers, and then I really need to take some fuel somewhere to fill up again and then move on. But like for example, if you like to drive from like in Europe, from Amsterdam in the Netherlands to like Madrid in Spain, you need to go to a gasoline station or battery station for like 3 or 4 times. But in comparison, if you take like this bigger touring car on the roads, you maybe need to fill up your gas for once, and then you travel along. And if you go by plane, that's more directly, so it will be the same. I think if you have small ships in the universe, you will be hopping from place to place. Maybe you can find smaller jump holes to take some shortcuts, of course, but they are probably more dangerous, or you need to plan and be careful and take some risks. High risk, high reward. Low risk, low reward, of course. But I think that's the same thing. If you travel by a huge ship that has a lot of quantum fuel and doesn't need to stop in one star system of doing refueling, yeah, that will be a major advantage, of course. But you also need to keep in mind that you need like multiple crew on your ship to do that. And if you like to travel solo, you can maybe travel solo from point to point and then hop on like a Liberator or another, the Kraken, like this sort of carrier-based spaceship, and you can tag along with it. You pay some fees, of course, but you will get to another star system much quicker. You can do your thing on this vessel, on the Liberator or on the Kraken, for example. Just prep, just socialize, that sort of stuff, and then you get off the next sort of bus stop or maybe spaceship stop in another system, and you continue your journey in your small ship.
The next question in the chat here, they're talking about whether your own ships can appear in the star map. You know, some folks, I don't want to name names, but they basically leave ships all over the Precision universe. It's just wrecks, hulks, some still fully intact. They just leave it and go to another one. What are our options or plans to showing, you know, our own detritus amongst the star map?
We definitely will have the ability technically to do it. This is sort of like a design decision about what you can track and what you can, like we always have a thing for tracking with the AR map.
Oh, it sounds good. They keep on saying that they have the possibility technically. So there is so much possible within this star engine. Also for this sort of stuff, it is a really good deep dive, but also very promising for the future, guys and girls.
Markers anyway, so there's no reason why anything that's on the AR would also be integrated into the mapping system to show exactly where you left it, floating in some moon somewhere.
I mean, for now you'll definitely be able to see where your current ship is. Like if you just got out of your ship and wandering around, you'll be able to see that on there. I think we're going to, for ships that are, say you've got it locked up on a space station, for example, so it's not actually in the game world, that'll probably, for now, live in your inventory and the other menus. But yeah.
But yeah,
Definitely
the stuff flying around is much more likely the ships that are associated with you.
Yeah. One thing we never really showed the radar very much at Citcon, mainly just because it didn't really fit with the flow of everything, but we've kind of improved the radar generally, and you can zoom into that and see it full screen the same way you can with the star map and so on. So there's the kind of things that you would see as contacts on your radar, you'll also be able to see that in the big version too.
Yeah, that's kind of like another use case for like a ship hologlobe is actually like the radar, and you're seeing like all the ships and possibly like the whole fleet. And
planning a battle.
Yeah, it'd be so cool for multi-crew gameplay if you're stood around and you can see your friends flying around you and
ordering around.
Yeah.
So it's very much like a pervasive UI throughout the game. Like it serves a lot of many purposes. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm really glad you.
Yeah, it sounds really good. How much systems will be in the game? That's a good question, Tom. I think it will be like maybe I think they said like 100 systems will be in game when the game goes live. Let's say 1.0, I think Chris Roberts said, but there is no stopping them to build on systems and keep on expanding the lore and editing races, more manufacturers, more possibilities. Like it's endless, the Star Engine design.
You brought that up, Sam, because I was literally just talking about how, hey, because let's be real, we dumped about 71 episodes of ISC in 2 days. And that's not an exaggeration. When you break down the number of topics and the number of minutes you spent on them, we did 71 episodes of ISC in 2 days. I know because I was there helping you put them together and exhausted. So part of the challenge for this quarter and into next quarter is figuring out what the heck we're going to talk about, what's left to talk about. But one of the things we're
what's left? Oh man, there's so much left.
Stuff. So I was literally going to break that to you after the show, but I'll just do it now. We're coming. We're coming sometime.
Yeah, it would be nice to show that stuff. Yeah, because we know what it does, but we're not told anyone else yet.
We're coming soon. You might come.
There are so much secrets in the game development teams. Oh man!
Take into account the stuff in the new radar and the new scanning stuff. Cool.
Yeah, one thing, it's like you kind of got different views. So if you're looking at the actual star map view, that's like the camera's really far away from where the actual player is. So if it was real life, you wouldn't be able to see that thing from that far away. So you do have to kind of zoom into the radar view to see, say, ships flying around and so on.
Yeah.
But I think probably we'll have friends on the big version of the map as well.
I don't know exclusively how UI this is in that ship team, but will everyone, including non-team members, be able to see doors opening on a ship so that they can track players?
Well, I checked with Rich Tyler about this just now, and so yes, at the moment that's the way it's going to work. So
I think technically it'd be harder not to. Thinking it through, it'd be really hard to
exclude that data.
Yeah.
That data. Like if you.
Oh my, yeah. So you can possibly see people or entities within your ship or walking within your ship, but maybe there are some in the future. There are some systems in place like stealth armor, that sort of stuff, or scrambling. So maybe the system in game in your ship will think it's like a critter or something, a small animal, and nothing of comparison to a human and no danger. And in fact, you are there is like this real pirate on board or this stealthy ninja or something.
If you know about the ship, you know about the inner workings. You might not necessarily know who's walking through it at any time, but you might go, that door seems to have opened and closed.
Right.
So it does have gameplay implications. So I know it might make it trickier for some people, but also people who do want to snoop on that stuff. It's going to be a fun bit of gameplay as well, I think.
Yeah.
So a couple layers to that. One is whether you can see people working in your ships, another one, whether you can identify them. If they've done something to hide their presence, maybe you don't see them, but you'd still see your own
Yeah,
doors.
we just talked about it.
Closing in your ship. So yeah, a couple different layers.
So the markers on the interior map are what you detect on the radar. So if you can detect people, like we saw the ping stuff in the demo that we did, then they will also appear on the interior map. But as you were saying, if they've got some mechanism of hiding themselves, then maybe they won't be so clear on the interior map as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have like the ability to hide and show different render layers. So like we could hide all doors if that's some gameplay requirement, or because also it's like
very
you'll be able
complete
to see, like, the
system.
weapons on the ship as well, and all the different components. So we can like hide those individually. And I don't know if it's like something where we get just like a base schematic of the ship, and then you kind of have to like hook into the ship to get that extra information or whatever. So
you can see that from.
but we have that. We just have that capability in the display.
Yeah, the fact is
Much of
supported is
capability in the
and
system.
We've not really explored that too much for now, so maybe there'll be some interesting gameplay that comes out of that as well.
Something not necessarily needed for a single player game, but one of those considerations that come into play with a multiplayer. So, how does the map handle areas you don't know about?
Oh, good question.
Okay, so
That's a
at
good
the
one.
moment, so the idea is it's kind of you discover things as points of data. So say when you go into the Stanton system or Pyro or whatever, you'll see the planets, the big planets, probably the moons as well, but you don't necessarily know what's on the surface of that planet. So for example, if there's a mine or a mineral deposit or something like that, you're going to have to get close to that to actually detect it, and then it's going to appear on your map. So essentially, if you don't know about it, you're not going to see it.
Yeah.
But as you explore the universe and build up this, your data bank, your map, it'll start to gradually populate, and you'll see more and more.
Yeah, tell us.
Looks like Twitch is having an issue right now, but we're going to soldier on because we're still recording. Chat's asking about hacking. You talked about, you have control of the different layers and whatnot. So from an offensive standpoint, it's reasonable, it's possible, somebody could go in and start disabling layers that you would have access to.
Oh yeah,
through hacking.
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It's conceivable.
if we want to do that.
Yeah,
Essentially.
again, sounds a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I mean the way the game's built is really cool. It's not like, we've got all these systems, but they all hook into the whole. So quite often they'll kind of interact with each other. So yeah, you might get sort of emergent cool stuff happening from that kind of thing.
Okay. Will route finding go all the way from on foot to your destination on another planet? Like how complete a route are we looking at building here? Door to door, across star systems?
No.
No.
So you've seen on the demo, the live demo we did. The on foot routing is pretty comprehensive, so you can go anywhere within the location, just to anywhere else that you can actually get to. But we want to keep it when you're actually navigating in space. It doesn't basically say, we don't want to hold your hand too much, essentially. So the space navigation, you will have to plot the route like you do now, and so on. But there won't be this thing where, go to the space station, get in your ship, then it'll take you straight there, and then you've got to get out of the ship. That kind of thing, we feel that's a bit too far.
Not getting from my hab in Area 18 to my friend's hab in Microtech, door to door.
Yeah. And like one thing we do want to avoid as well is there's a
There will be, of course, there will be HAPs also in the future, I think. But do we really think that the HAP system is going to stay after we have our own persistent hangars or bases, living spaces now? I think maybe you can, in the future, buy your own apartments on systems, or you can rent a room like the HAP right now, where we wake up if we start the game, or if we like to... we will. That's our spawn normally. If you don't have your spawn localized on a ship or that sort of stuff, but now.
Term that some of the directors have used, which is called playing the map, where you sometimes, if it's too much of a sat nav, you don't even look at the game screen. You're just looking at this tiny little circle that shows you where to go. So we don't want that. We want to make people feel immersed in the world.
There's some crazy technical challenge behind that. Anyway, if you talk about the hub thing, it was like, well, where's the first step? Does it route you to the ASOP terminal? And then does it tell you what ship to put, because you might have 10 ships. You might already have some ships on the landing pad. Which one is it going to pick? Is it going to pick the fastest one? Is it going to pick the safest one? You know, I agree with you. No, I think just on a technical basis, I don't want to set off down that route.
Do it.
I think let the players play the game how they want and give them a hand moving around like some of our more complex environments. But it's not about like just you've seen people drive like this, right? Where they're just following the sat nav into a field or something.
Playing the map's a very real thing. I think
Just turn right here and they drive up against a grass field or a tree or a barn because it's on the right side.
In bat vision or whatever it was just like, I'm not playing the game, I'm playing the UI. It was great UI, but it now you know superseded the game at that point. So
much as we like to promote UI, I think we've also made some great visuals beyond the UI. So yeah.
Well, I mean, like for instance, the new ship pads. Like we've taken like the effort to try to like clear up the view of like all these UI elements. Like it's like really cluttered in the PE right now. It's really messy, and so like that's kind of we want to, you know, clear it up so like you can appreciate the environments a lot more, right?
You say clear it up, so I want to ask you about.
Yeah, that's a good one, Tom. Head-up display, the HUD. So it's the systems that you see in your own cockpit. It's very crowded at the moment. You see all sorts of information and screens popping up. But when it is more lean and more subtle, I think it will be what he said. You can much more enjoy the environment and just you can focus on other things than only flying and focusing on HUDs. Yeah.
Customization. I think, again, since the first version of the PU went out in December of 2015, people have always asked questions about customization. Can I change colors, or can I change brightness, or can I change, or can I move this?
I think they did a really good job already with it for immersion. So if you take the Asperia blade, the light fighter from the Vanduls, it has this very bright red colors. It's aggressive, very not friendly, I think. But if you put it against a Carrack or just like a Misk ship, it is much more friendly. It's enjoyable. It's like having this warm blue color or warm green color. So they played a lot also already with colors and different variations to get immersion in that ship type of ship role.
This over here, over there. Talk to me about customization. We've only got a few more minutes before we switch over to Torsten and Guillermo, but I think this is what people would really like to know and have discussed is how far are we looking to take this? Are there technical limitations that will just prevent us from doing everything we want? Just talk to me in general about how.
Sorry, Torsten is coming up. It's from the Fix and Fly panel, I think, from Citcon, but also his team does the salvaging part, the mining part, more the industrial kind of stuff. So it's I don't know, maybe they are also going in for talking about HUD or displays, or maybe just the features, because in the new patch that is coming, they say they are able to have the reclaimer claw working and the munching system, or the salvaging system inside the ship, also for the vulture. So I'm very curious.
How important or not, maybe it's not, please don't say it's not, but how important is the ability to customize the UI?
Well, it happens, there's two levels anyway. There's a in-law customization, as in how you'd actually customize your ship. That's a bit beyond the scope of what I know about, but we also talk about accessibility as well. So the size of text, color blindness and all things like that. So we have, as a system programmer, like we
it
have to
needs to be
we're building all that in
accessible for
anyway because we have
almost
to,
all
we
people.
have to do
Like if
equivalent
you're
things for
colorblind or
programmers
if you
and
are
text
disabled in
sizes,
some
so you
way
can
or
read
another,
things
just
and not
make
have to
sure
stick tiny
you
text
can
everywhere.
play this game.
But that really helps the game designers as well,
They
because the game
must made
designers
and
will
put
talk
effort in
about,
systems
we want
that
to be able to customize our shop, or we want to be able to
yeah
customize the way a shop looks or something
yeah
like.
will
We,
engage you
from
to
a
play
systems
this.
point of view that I'm involved in, it's just about trying to make the UI as flexible as possible, so then we can do that sort of stuff. I don't know where we're at with the design for customization of particularly ships. So obviously the ships are one of the most important things. I mean, Yogi showed quite a lot of that stuff off at the show, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think at the moment a lot
more,
of the
more that we can do as well.
a lot of the customization at the moment is things like on the MFDs you can choose which MFD you're looking at, that kind of thing. For now, our main focus is like
Is this this thing at the background? Is this like a treasure chest from Baldur's Gate 3 with his fangs out and his tongue? So it's if you try to open it, it will attack you. Just seeing things, I think.
take all that information and get it good for the player, and also try and get it contextual, so you're not seeing things you don't need to see and that kind of thing. So, well, for now you can't customize everything to a great deal. It hopefully is a better player experience, and I think longer term, we've always talked about being able to have, say, if you buy a new helmet, maybe it has a different kind of style of UI.
Oh yeah,
different Mobi-glass, maybe you've got the pink version, for example. So
yeah.
I think tying things to items is probably going to be the
Yeah.
first thing before we get to the level where we're
Yeah.
letting players customize every single piece here and there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it
think the
will be.
customization will probably manifest itself first in like the accessibility options, like for color blindness and text size and things like that. And then anything beyond that's probably
Oh,
later
very
on the
good,
line.
very good, guys. Keep on
Not
going. Keep on going.
Things like brightness against white backgrounds and microtech. But
Yeah.
I mean, is this
trying
an
to solve that for
Awapo?
5
Is this
years.
like this forever demon at the end of all the things UI? Is the UI against the white snow of microtech?
It's way more complicated than you'd expect, believe it or not. like you think, well, can we not just draw it with a drop shadow, or do we?
Yeah, it's what Bones said. It's like most of the time we don't understand how complicated some silly features are to put in the game. It's like it's really complicated because it connects to other systems. It's really it's really hard. Yeah.
We adjust the brightness, but we definitely know it's a problem, and we work on it quite a lot. And then
It kind of comes and goes. We go through waves of like it'll come up and right, nobody can read it. We've got to fix it, so we make it better. And then it's like, yeah, that'll do for now. And then 6 months later, it's like, oh, you can't read this. Can't read it in the snow background. So yeah, we'll get it
It's
perfect
good
one day,
that
but
they
I'm
are
sure more of
knowing
those,
their
like, waves as we get
issues and also
It
working
won't
on
be
it.
as fast as some people. Won't be as fast as I want it. Let's just be
Oh.
completely honest. But it's all right. I appreciate.
No, Jared is right, of course, but this sort of features also I think they pop up in the Star engine and they need to deal with it, but they have a lot of things on the schedule to also deal with it. So we need to keep in mind that they are doing their best. They know their issues, but it's on them, on the teams, to prioritize, and at the end, at at the management department, of course, to take decisions. And like I said, it's of course I'm a backer also, and I like to play the PU, the persistent universe, for now. And of course, I am also getting tired of crashes to desktop or 30Ks crashes, that sort of stuff. But they are fixing it piece by piece, and also try to develop new system and features in place. We need to accept also that if you are participating in the test, in the alpha test or early gameplay, we need to accept that there are changes coming, that there are issues happening, but we also need to keep in mind that not only focusing on marketing or selling ships, that sort of stuff, also try to keep backers that are pledged already try to have a good experience in game for now, for what it is. It's really difficult, but I think the development teams always need to focus and prioritize the thing that can get us further, and that is not focusing on the players right now at the moment. How bad I would want it, of course, because I want a very enjoyable experience already, and I want it to be done, like Jared said, but that's not the case. They need to keep focusing on a few steps ahead of us, a few steps ahead of what is necessary, and if it crashes the game for a month or something and it's not playable, like in the 318, it of course it's not good, but it are steps we are taking together, like backers and development.
Appreciate that I appreciate that you're aware of it. I appreciate that you're working on it, and I think some people will be too. All right, last before we let you go, Bone, are you recovered from being a meme?
Yeah, that was an unexpected turn of events. I wasn't. I didn't. Of all the things that I was predicting that could or couldn't happen, that wasn't one of them. But yeah, it was all very wholesome. It seems. I appreciate the love of the community.
Yeah.
What was going on in your head, Emily? What happened?
You told me to do it.
I did, and this is true.
You told me to do it.
Can I say in my defence that, like, I asked Emily to be clear to what the problem was is when demoing something like the star map, I had a tendency to just go freestyle and just start spinning things around, and it was like, no, we need to actually demo specific features. So I says, well, you just tell me
what to do. Yeah, of course.
In my defence, I couldn't hear a voice when we're on stage, and you hear the reflection because it was a big hall, and you hear Emily would say it, and then about half a second later, I would go,
oh, there is the same voice in the distance. I need to do something.
So Mancunian.
Doesn't matter. We appreciate Bone and the team.
Question. There is one last kind of bugaboo question I want to ask about a landing UI. That's the besides the adjustments and the customization. One of the
okay. Just to get you guys informed, we don't have any proper landing UI. There is a UI for a docking collar in place, but it's a little bit tedious, of course. But a good landing UI will be also very good. Will be very appreciated also. But I think they need to balance it out, because if you are for the first time on a planet and you don't possess the information of where pieces of land or scanning that will show you pieces of flat land before, where you can take down your ship or that sort of stuff, where you can land your ship on, you have to experience it yourself. So if you're flying a Carrack, you go to your little Pisces inside of the Carrack and go out to do a scanning flight or a reconnaissance flight, just to get the data done, and then maybe the UI will get you to a good spot where you're safe and where the ship is stable to land, and also to get stuff out. So the hangar bay door, the ramp is connected to the ground, that sort of stuff.
Big forever questions is the return, either the return or the next iteration of some kind of downward facing landing UI to help folks out. Any joy, any love, any hope you can offer anybody here?
Yeah, so I have looked into it to some degree. It's not very progressed right now, but it is something we're thinking about and working on. So.
Yeah, so
okay, good.
Useful stuff.
Watch this space.
You switch to Emily's camera. Emily wants to look right at that camera and say, "I'm going to give you a landing UI."
I'm going to give you a landing UI.
Because Jared said.
Right.
No, thank you.
It was the opposite of what I said would happen at the beginning, huh? So, thanks, guys. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with us and be here with us. Thank you for everything you did in putting together that Citcon presentation.
Yeah.
I told you when we first started talking about it, it was going to be one of the most sought after and enjoyed presentations, and you guys absolutely delivered. So thank you so much. Torsten, Guillermo, are you still there? Nope. Okay. So we've lost our second guest, so we're going to take a short break and see if we can't get them back on the line.
Oh
And,
my God! How I just want to reflect on the panel that we just looked from the UI and for the teams of Bone. I enjoyed it. It was really fun, also a little bit in depth. So there is so much to talk about and to be more specific about in the future for Star Citizen. So Jared mentioned, I don't know what we are going to talk about in the next 70 episodes because we spoiled it all with Citcon. But this sort of thing, people want to know all the tiny bits, but also have these deep dive questions on tiny bit of information. So this is the UI, the mapping system, scanning and radar, that sort of stuff. But it will be for being a huge impact on us players using it daily, because if it doesn't work correctly or it's tedious or that sort of stuff, we will freak out. But if it's good, nobody's complaining, but also nobody is shouting or giving them credit. So credits where credits deserve, and I hope the team of Bone and the other ones keep on doing their good work. And like Jared said, they did a good job at Citcon.
All things work. We'll be back with Torsten and Guillermo for a follow-up to their resource management presentation at Citcon, so stay tuned.
Man, they are keeping they keeping showing off these water tech. Oh my God!
Is that working? Guillermo, Torsten, you there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Nice.
We're having a day here. Apparently, when you don't use the studio for 6-7 weeks, everything breaks. Welcome back to Star Citizen Live, Citizen follow-up. Joining us for the second half of the show are Torsten and Guillermo from the EUPU gameplay and feature teams. Welcome, guys. Say hello.
Hello. Nice to be here.
Yeah, Mr. Torsten.
It's going to be one of those things. All right, so you guys did your presentation on the resource management system, sometimes referred to as the engineering gameplay system. How'd it go?
Yeah, it's not only engineering guys and girls, it's also Rusty Pigeons, of course, because I'm talking to you all, Rusty Pigeons. They do a lot of stuff. They do the mining part, they do the salvaging part, and they do the engineering part. So that sort of player systems that are coming to Star Citizen and already are implanted, like in tier 0 or tier 1, and need to be upgraded to the following tier, of course. They are all doing that, the team of Torsten.
Was it well received? Did you guys have a good time? Talk to me for a minute while I work on one more technical thing.
I think we didn't get all the time to talk about all the things we want to say for engineering, so it's good that we have this segment to clarify a lot of the questions the community is having, and so that Torsten can really, go on and on about his designs.
No. Getting Torsten on the spot there. Okay. What's your role, man? Okay, we will have a look.
Yes.
Would you agree with that, Torsten?
Well, partly, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we had to rush it a bit on stage, but yeah.
Yeah,
so
there was some
good that we
time
had the
pressure.
opportunity
Yeah.
to talk a bit about it.
Yeah, you were the unfortunate placement of being directly after the Future of Star Engine presentation, which started out as a 45-minute long presentation like all the others, then grew to 55 minutes, then 65, then 75, then 85. I don't know what the actual runtime was.
Oh my God.
If somebody can look it up on YouTube and see, but I'm pretty sure we got upwards of nearly 90 minutes.
It was very useful, of course.
But
therefore, the panel of Torsten and his team will be are squished together.
So we're not. We'll go ahead and we're going to do.
They
a
deserve
follow-up
this
on
time
ISC
to
and
explain
some
some
things,
things, I
talking
think.
points we didn't get to cover. But for now, let's just jump right into some of the questions from the community that we have while things are still working before we lose you again. First question from the
Yeah,
community.
for sure, Tom. Yeah, nice to see you hanging around here.
Ships be repairable?
So that's a good question, and it comes first with, okay, what is soft death? So soft death is a bit of an interim solution due to the fact that we cannot actually currently in the game, let you damage power plants or relays or anything like that. So that means that, the way the game works currently, if you set something to 0 HP, it will just explode. Soft death allows us to bypass that a bit so that you get, a non-functional ship that you can still loot.
Yeah.
With the physical damage system, we expect that to change, and instead of having soft death as its own thing, have it be more along the lines of, if you lose enough parts to your ship, you will stop flying or you will stop being able to fight. And whether that's repairable, it will depend. In some cases, some components are easy to change and repair. On the other hand, power plants for some ships are so large that you will need to tow the ship all the way back to port to do any kind of repair.
And that's one of the... I'm sorry, go ahead, Torsten.
Yeah, so to add to that, the soft death that we currently have is basically just an interim solution to the proper soft death that will then come with what Guillermo just described.
Yeah. And that's going to
provide... Moving forward, sorry.
Okay.
Like even moving forward with Maelstrom, it will be more complex where players will be able to shoot away certain sections of the ship. So you don't even have to repair the ship items on it, but you have to exchange entire segments of the ship itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when vehicles like the SRV and stuff come on, these vehicles that are designed to tow other ships and other wrecks, one of the virtues of that is they'll be able to grab onto these soft death ships and bring them back for repair, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's exactly. A good one. Yeah. Okay.
So
the tugging will be also gameplay.
The questions was crash landings that the ship still tends to explode. In theory, as long as you have enough crumple space, so to speak, in the sense that you don't hit a mountain head on. With Maelstrom, you would probably expect to lose wing.
Oh.
Okay.
Did we lose him?
Yeah, so towing with the SRV, it's like this sort towing boat with a tractor beam on it. So it's good to hear. I think also for the future that ships like we are, if we are in game now, we are losing the ship or or it explodes or we just jump out of it and forget it. But that will not be the case anymore. I think the gameplay will force us to be very, very what's the right word? Love our ships, handle them very. They are our precious ships, our precious vessels, and they can be replaced that often or that good. So if you are broken up, missing a wing, you just call the tugboat and let you tow to a garage or a space plant or that sort of stuff to get your ship fixed, and then you can continue your journey.
It's one of those days. We had a really good 2 days at CitizenCon where stuff was like.
Yeah, and now back in the studio, it's all crashing.
We've lost Guillermo and Torsten right now. We're going to attempt to get them back to get just what happened.
What? Yeah, somebody
we're going to go back to the we'll be right back side.
Somebody just pulled the plug.
Be back in a minute, everybody.
Okay. Oh, the water tank. No. Oh, there it is again.
Hi, everybody. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to get Torsten and Guillermo back for this show. So we'll attempt to address those things and have them back on one of the future shows that we have.
No. Oh my God! Is this on purpose? Is it too fragile to say things about this system? From the team of Torsten, I don't know. For now, let's have a look what this Star Citizen Live will bring to us.
Who wants to ask me anything? I mean, I could just end the show here, or we could do Ask Disco, Ask Jared. We got a live chat, right? We got a live chat. What you got? What you got? What you got for me? You can let Guillermo and Torsten go since we can't bring them in, Dave. But let's see. What else we got? Anything? Anything? How are you? I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Put your left arm in the air if you are
It's
really
been a little
live.
hard coming down from the high of Citcon. Citcon was like, pinnacle of almost a decade of my time here, making all that happen. And so the last couple weeks afterwards have been really hard crashed. But yeah, it's to be expected. Any news on the railing? No, not from me. I don't make spaceships. What was your favorite and worst moment at CitizenCon? Give me a little bit to think about that. Jared, what are you most excited for this year? Most of what you just saw us talking about.
No
UI stuff.
No Torsten.
I mean, I'm not. It's not hyperbole when I say that UI is the one element of game production that touches everything else. I mean, I'm sure all of you, many of you, most of you, saw what that new star map does, saw what the new internal map is, saw what the new mobiGlass was, and how they will completely, totally and utterly, reinvent the experience.
You must give it to him, to Jared. Jared, Mr. Huckabee, he's doing always a good thing. Just keep on talking, searching for the right words. I am sometimes jealous on this guy. He does an amazing job not telling us everything because, trust me, he knows a lot about the game and a lot about the development and also a lot that we can't hear of yet right now. So, searching for the words, keep on going, Jared.
Of living in the persistent universe, and then had to go back to the game as it currently is and log in with the game as it is today. It's hard. It's hard. So the thing that I'm most excited about is getting that stuff in there. It's one of the reasons we launched this 5 weeks of CitizenCon follow-ups that we have with the UI stuff, because that is the stuff I'm
most excited 5 weeks.
That you get that stuff in there.
Okay.
And everything else.
But that's also in AIE, so the International Aero Expo.
What is that? Oh, it says, how many weed CIG smoke in month?
My God!
I didn't misread that.
Oh man! Come on, people. Get good questions to Jared, please.
StarCloth demo? No. I still owe Chrome Ninja a call. I said I would call him afterwards, and I never did. Such a jerk. Is that model 3D printed, and where can we get the files? This is Rocinante from The Expanse. Big fans of Star Citizen and Squadron 42. James, the two folks who make up James Corey. Jared, where can I get that hoodie you were wearing? You have to hire in here several years ago. It's not even available today.
What? Oh, man.
What happened with the fire marshal at the after party? I don't know. I'm not the fire marshal. Jared used voice without the video. No, it's the whole machine that brings them in is down. That's why we can't even do just voice, unfortunately. When are you and Tyler going to do a show together again? Man, if it were up to me, we'd still be doing Citizens of the Stars, man. We used to, we were always on that stuff together, but, reality happens, that we improve the quality of the other shows. ISC, not this one. This one's at POS this week. Really
my God.
But the other show, it takes a lot more time, a lot more effort. So we couldn't continue the show that just kind of got goofed off on and stuff like that. But I miss him. It was one of the best parts about CitizenCon was getting to hang out and be together.
Yeah. I think having a co-partner or just to speak to
completely reworked. You tell me
to get on thoughts about the game. It would be a really good thing.
Weird session.
I think it will help you how do you call it? Relevate? No, not relevate, but have a different angle on looking at some sort of perspective the game offers us now versus what it offers us in the future. And if you're only talking by yourself, then of course you are you don't you don't get taunted with this thoughts, with this advocate of the devil, that sort of thing. So I think it's always good to have a co-partner or a host and a co-host to get the things going and not and to change thoughts about some stuff.
How is everyone doing mentally after the hard push of the event? I kind of talked about it at the beginning of this part. You know, it's big highs can often lead to big lows afterwards. It's the case with me and my particular brain chemistry. Other people can just go on and stay super high. But it was a high. It was a high. I mean,
it was really good, Citcon. If you don't looked it right now or just new to the game, man, just look it up. Have a look at it, go back, have a look at all the panels. They are at the YouTube site from Star Citizen. Really good one.
Let's see. What else we got? Lando, which Jordans are you rocking today? Not anything fancy. These are my Jordan Stay Loyal tees.
No way.
No way. These are the ones I wear when it rains.
Clean boots of
not
Jared.
The classic Jordan 1s or the Jordan 3s that I like, but these are more comfortable and they're a bit more watertight.
Did you know that Jared used to work for Blizzard as well? So he's already a veteran in game development, but as you see, he still carries his Jordans. Like Jordans are also a thing from the past, I think. Of course, they have bringing out new models and that sort of stuff. But if you used to be a fan of Michael Jordan, the famous basketballer, in the days, you will know this.
So I wear these ones. Buying things on Citcon increase our concierge level? I have no idea. I have virtually no involvement with the concierge or the subscriber program. For my work, it's got to be for everybody.
Yeah.
You are all citizens.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you cry over?
If you don't know what the concierge program is, the program is for people that spent or pledged more than 1,000 euros, up until like the 10th of thousands of euros. So this is a program where you get special offers to buy or just to exchange your ships in, or special skins, that sort of stuff. In the end, they say all stuff will be available in game. Of course, we don't know how hard it is to obtain it, because back in the days from World of Warcraft in vanilla, some people had like this sword or shield or magic staff or magic rope that others just didn't had and don't they can't buy it. They don't have the reputation for it, or they just didn't find the drop. It wouldn't drop for them, but also it was it was really a thing, you are the things was special. So I think if you pledge for this game for over $1,000, of course you may have some sort of special place, because with the pledge you make it possible also for the new backers and also for the new players in the future to get a piece of this game. Otherwise it wasn't be here. It was started as a Kickstarter program back in 2012 or 2013, I think, and it wouldn't be here if we don't had the backers that we had right now and then. I think the game is up to like 640 million now, 10 years later. And also with, I think, private gifts or loans, that sort of stuff, maybe even higher, like 800. So it's almost 1 billion. It's crazy, but I think it's really good, and without a publisher. So it's a freelance company that is making this thing possible, that is building dreams.
Server meshing? I didn't, but that story CR said was absolutely true. I mean, it was, he recounted the story, so I don't think I have anything to add to it, but he was, it was just one of those kind of, everybody gets together and kind of reviews what they're talking about, showing things to CR so he can, plus something up or send us in a different direction. And
for the new backers, CR is Chris Roberts. He is the founder, and it's the big brain behind Star Citizen. So it's CR, Chris Roberts, yeah.
And Paul Rendell has this video. He says, he goes, just casually, I think I've figured out how to demonstrate server meshing. Because I mean, you remember, some of you remember.
Yeah, the tag server meshing is so important to get the multiplayer universe going. Not the single player that I talked before, but the multiplayer side. Man, it's a real piece of tech.
So if you can't show it, it's just a bunch of people talking. So we learned that the hard way. We kind of knew it. We thought we would try anyway, and it didn't work. So it took a year. It took the better part of a year, 8-9 months. And Paul Rendell, super stud that he is, shows up and says, I think I've got a way to show it. And he shows this, and we're all just kind of like just anime eyes watching this thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, it works. But
imagine that you are working in this company, that you are struggling in like this year-long battle with server meshing getting done, and also fighting against game engines that do not compete to what is necessary to bring this game to life. So you need to search and swap game engines, do the coding again and again and again. So man, it's really tough. So I think being in that room, like Jared's telling us right now, and seeing this thing, man, it must be a relief to them and also to us.
So we figured out how to demonstrate it visually, because the thing works on the size and scale of star systems and stuff. So it's a very hard thing to show visually. And he did it, and it was a recording. Most of CitizenCon was pre-recorded, stuff like this. And Chris's response after he teared up, he challenged Paul to do it live. which if you want to know what it's like working for CR, man, he showed him this amazing thing, and then he was like, this is great, this is wonderful. If you weren't a coward, you'd do it live. And and Paul and myself and a couple IT people spent the next 3 weeks, because it was just 3 weeks before, completely rejiggering that presentation in order to figure out how to do it live and stuff. So that's probably my favorite thing about CitizenCon. Going back to that question, my favorite thing about CitizenCon is my favorite thing about working here. Is that we
being part of it all.
Chicken out.
It's good.
It's we don't take the easy road. If there's a way to do something that would be better, then even if it comes with more risk, and it almost always comes with more risk, we do it.
I think what Jared's mentioning right now, I think even Salty Mike, his salt is starting to melt. Because I saw him at the Citcon as with Level Cap, just covering the presentations and panels. They did a really good job, but also Salty Mike is in the habit, just of course, throwing salt at these things that are a pain in the butt for the real backers, of course, for the players. Also, if CRG switches priorities, he will mention it. He will call them out on them. So it's really good. But I think after the last Citcon, even Salty Mike's salt is going to melt, because I don't think he has a lot of stuff to talk about anymore. There isn't much salty things to do. But we will see in the future, maybe in a year or so. There's still nothing complete from what they said this Citcon, and Salty Mike is in a big run for getting salt everywhere. So I'm curious.
That's why this is the only place that lets me do this job. It's the only company in the world that would let me do this. And
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Open development.
I'm just going to check my chat.
Of course,
to see if
of course. Open development, like in every company, you have your own. You have your own, not secrets, I think, but you have your own things that you keep for yourself, to just protect what you are making, to not let it leak out to others. And what Jared's mentioned now, he also worked for Blizzard, I think, and other companies. But yeah, it's really, really good. He gets this opportunity and he does it for multiple years right now. And he does an amazing thing doing it good. Also taking blows when it's need to, or taking hits. But also call people out when it's need to be, I think.
Made anybody angry here? Nope, nobody's angry with me at the moment. So we're going to keep the questions coming. We got a few more minutes here. Do you look at questions that don't have the question prefix? No. Chat's too crazy. Chat's too crazy. The question
you
prefix.
need a question with
big
encapsulations.
capital letters surrounded by brackets. That's how I've trained myself over the years to try to pull these things out of chat, and I still miss half of them, or 3/4 of them completely. If we're being honest with each other. Can you tease some upcoming ISC topics?
Yeah, question.
Well, we said it earlier in the show, and it wasn't hyperbole. Citcon was 71 ISCs. It's if you wonder why, if you wonder why no other game company does a weekly recurring behind the scenes docu-series in the middle of their development, it's because it's hard. It's really hard. But then to also do a big 2-day event where we basically
tell you
dump
everything,
an entire year's worth of ISC content in 2 days, while still having to make ISC content, it's hard. But it goes back to what I said. It's not the easy thing. The easy thing would be to take a quarter of ISC off, or 2/4 of ISC off, or whatever.
Yeah, let's hope, guys and girls, in the future, when more development teams are starting to get work on the Persistent Universe and Squadron 42 is coming out, Jared has much more to talk about, I think. So it will be all right in the future.
But we don't do the easy thing. We do what we think is the better thing. So so ISC topics for the remainder of the year are going to be a little, some of the things are ones you can expect. We got 2 weeks of IAE coming up, so pretty standard. These 2 weeks of every year are dedicated to ship content. So the next 2 episodes of ISC,
yeah, man, it will be good.
During IAE,
everybody in Star Citizen love their ships.
The new ships and vehicles that are debuting at this year's event. Then the week after that is probably going to be a look at Pyro Playground.
I also participated.
What's it called? The public test channel?
Playground.
Is that what we're calling it? Preview channel. The preview channel. It's going to be a bit about the preview channel and what it is and how it works and why things will come to it and why things will go from it. And then a look back at the Pyro Playground.
Try to repeat that 5 times, man. No, it's good. I also played the Pyro Playground. Okay, there it goes. I also played it. I enjoyed it for sure. Yeah, also I find it good. Just focus on ships first for the IAE, get new people in, focus on selling ships, marketing, that sort of stuff. We need to get more people in with starter packs, not buying huge ships, of course, but okay, all the money that is in is going back to the company and to the game development, so that's a good thing. But it's a different psychology, I think, selling things to people, and also versus getting backers pleased, like they already pledged and they need to have this solid experience, and if they don't receive the solid experience they are going to complain, putting salt on things, that sort of stuff.
For the folks who didn't get a chance to experience it and why certain things were this way and that way, and then we got like a 17-minute section that's just dedicated to camping and griefing at the spawn habs.
Doing the ship ramming. Okay, just throw your own ship into the landing
have
pad.
An option not to.
My God.
I understand the thing lets you.
Yeah.
But it's a choice.
Yeah, for sure. Everything for now is a choice. But also keep in mind, even if this happens, and I think everybody experienced it once in time, when they are playing Star Citizen, they get like camped or wrecked or just bashed with a ship in it and died. It also generates information that the backers or the developers can work with. So it always is a good thing. More information to work from.
Making those choices. And then we could do some 322 stuff that hasn't been announced on the public roadmap yet, so I'm not ready to say what that is.
But he knows already a little bit. Okay.
We got like 2 weeks after that for 322 stuff, and then we're done with the year. And then I take the thing that I dream about every 2 years, a 17-day trip to Walt Disney World, where I forget each and every one of you exists.
Just focusing on Mickey Mouse or on Goofy.
God, it sounds so good. Disney World, not forgetting you exist. Will we see an ISC on structural salvage? Yes. Can we play as Bone in Star Citizen? No, there's only one. Will we see anything on bounty hunting or building interior soon? Soon is a relative term.
Soon, TM.
Building interiors probably next year. Work on building interiors was the teams that were working on building interiors were pulled off and reassigned to getting the distribution centers farther along for their release as part of 4.0 and stuff like this, and showcase at CitizenCon. So the work on building interiors is sort of slowed down for a bit, like I said too. But as the work on the distribution centers becomes more and more complete, those folks will be able to go back and resume their work on
distribution centers. So are these the persistent hangars that
we're going to check our chats and make sure
we have promised to get in the future?
I mean, I could make up another rule, but that's what I'm doing. I'm going to make up a lie and just say, hold on, I'm getting a message from my mom. But no, every once in a while, I just got to check and make sure that nobody's angry at me. When I call audibles like this. Should we get out the whiteboard?
It's still
what's your favorite
few minutes away.
Amos.
My God.
Let's see. Did you cry watching the Squadron 42 trailer? Seriously. Not cry. Because
it was really good. The trailer.
You see me in there. And it's one part of the gameplay part of putting it together, scripting it and working out.
It was a really good insight of what Squadron 42
a little bit earlier in the show.
will be like.
We don't always see we don't always show Squadron 42, but we don't always see it internally either. You know, everybody's got their work, and everybody's got their thing that they're working on, and everybody's got their part of things that
all
they're,
the
that they're
cogs
focused on.
in the
So
big
this-
wheel,
so we
man.
don't
All the
always
cogs in the big
see
wheel.
this we don't always have this opportunity to pull back and see how it all fits together. You know, that's the stuff that, you know, CR and Rich Tyler and those guys, that's the world that they live in. We're always just focused in these little areas. So getting to see that come together. That video started as a little 2 to 3 minute thing. Oh, we're just gonna do a little thing. And then it was like, no, we can show this. And, oh, we got to show this. And, oh, we got to show this. And we got to talk about this. And, you know, again, the easy thing would have been to do that little 2 or 3 minute thing we originally spec'd out. But we don't do the easy thing. We do what we genuinely and historically believe is the better thing, even if it's almost always the harder thing. And that was certainly what Hold the Line was. And I think the results speak for itself. It's anybody that was at the event, in whatever spare time I had, they probably heard me say, you need to make sure that you're in your seat at 4:30. Don't let any force on earth pull you out of that seat, because in that stage with that screen and that sound system and those 3,000 people in the audience,
gives a vibe.
that was one heck of an experience, man.
Yep.
One heck of an experience. Let's see what else we got. When are we getting Jared merch? All right, I'll sell you this for
Give me a big
75.
wobble hat of Jared.
You can buy some of my old cassette tapes, $5 each.
Oh, all right. Cassettes.
No, you don't need bobbleheads. That's rude.
Bubble hat. Let's show
I
them.
don't think Pete knows the story. I don't think Pete knows why my head bobbles. Everybody always like, we need a disco bobblehead. I broke my neck. That's why my head bobbles. I broke 2 vertebrae in my neck in the
We
2000.
didn't know that, Jared. Sorry.
I stayed too stationary for too long. The cartilage inflames, and it's just a constant forever pain because I'm too chicken to get the surgery that they keep telling me I need. So it's a bobble.
My
It keeps it
God.
loose. Keeps it pain free. But in case you ever wondered, in case you ever left.
Oh,
a
yes.
YouTube
No,
comment,
no, for sure.
Hey, Jared, just stop bobbling your head, man. I'd like to, but it hurts. Just check our chat, see if we're in trouble or not. Hey, Lenny, are you in here? Lenny never came back. Lenny, are you ready with the with the raid? We're gonna raid a star. We're gonna raid a Star Citizen stream here. I think Lenny's in charge of it. Lenny is our recently added friendship manager. Lenny, send me a message on Teams if you're ready. So we'll wrap that up.
Yes.
And get that thrown to you. Let's see. Any more trouble? Any more questions? Will there be an NPC Jared in game for in-game events? No.
No.
Guys, I appreciate the request. I appreciate that it comes from a good place, and I'm truly honored. But there has to be some part of this project where you guys can get away from me. Like, I only host this show. I'm not a good host. Look at me. Look at me right now. Look at me. Like, this is not. I'm no professional host. My job is to make this stuff from top to bottom, to write it, to produce it, to direct it.
Then get
also
a
just,
nice
I only host it
co-host
because
in there
I'm
with
the
you,
guy in
boy.
charge of hiring the host, and I just like it. It's my little release each week, but.
Release.
My job.
That sounds awful, Jared. Release.
Like,
Keep on holding your releases to yourself, man.
There's got to be some place where you can enjoy Star Citizen without having to deal with my big giant bobbly head. And that should be in game. Let's see. We got a message from Lenny. Jake is on it. Okay, Jake is on it. All right. So yeah, that's it, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sorry that we didn't get to the second half of our guests due to technical problems.
For sure.
We're gonna see if we can't square those things away before next week. Next week's show is scheduled to be members of the Life in the First Person and Taking Flight presentations. So the FPS and the ship gameplay.
Okay.
stuff, Yogi and Jens and them. So we got 7 days to figure this out and get this going. So hopefully we'll be on track, and then we'll figure out when we can bring Torsten and Guillermo back and get that done. So thanks for hanging out with us. And we're going to start the raid here. You guys can start the raid. Just
see you next time, Jared.
I really like doing this. I really like you.
We also like you, Wobblehead. Okay, see you next time.
Talk to you later.
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye-bye. Star Citizen. Okay. So, a little recap. We just saw the panel of bone, some small pieces of Torsten, and then after that we saw some small questions and answers by Jared. I don't know. It was just one of the Star Citizen Live, Inside Star Citizen episodes that, I enjoyed it. Most of the time I enjoy them, because what sort of topic they're on, it's always worth to have a look. Okay, thank you very much, Rusty Pigeons. Hope you're doing fine. For those who are just starting the day, have a nice day. For those who are going to bed, sleep well, have sweet dreams, and catch you all at the next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.